Hey Steelers Nation, welcome back to the channel where we bring you the biggest, boldest, and most exclusive updates straight from the black and gold. As always, we're here because this team is looking to get better every single day, sharpening every edge, turning up the heat, and pushing toward that 7th Lombardi trophy. If you love seeing the Steelers chase greatness, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe it. Helps more than you know and keeps the updates coming. You're way all right. Let's dive into what might just be one of the biggest moves of the entire 2025 NFL offseason. The Pittsburgh Steelers have pulled off a late blockbuster. Ramsey is now a member of the Steel Curtain. That's right, folks. Ramsey himself broke the news on social media with a video saying, "Break my own news." And he did it with the Steelers hashtag front and center. This trade didn't come cheap, though. Pittsburgh sent Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 fifth-round pick to the Miami Dolphins in exchange for Ramsey, veteran tight end Jonnu Smith, and a 2027 seventh-rounder. It's a shakeup that raises eyebrows, but it could be the exact kind of bold move Pittsburgh needs. Let's break this down. We're talking about a 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, and one of the most feared defensive backs in the league. When he's locked in, Ramsey instantly upgrades the cornerback room, which, let's be honest, has been in need of some veteran presence and physicality. With Joey Porter Jr. emerging as the Steelers' new CB1, Ramsey won't have to carry the full burden of being the primary shutdown corner. In fact, Porter allowed 0 touchdowns last season and is already chasing his first Pro Bowl in just his 3rd year. That means quarterbacks may target Ramsey more often, and that's a dangerous game for any offense. And let's not forget, Pittsburgh already signed 6-time Pro Bowler Darius Slay earlier this offseason. Add Ramsey into the mix, and you now have 3 starting-caliber cornerbacks. This opens the door for more creative sub-packages, is 5DB sets that could wreak havoc across the AFC. Here's where it gets interesting. At this stage of his career, Ramsey might not just play outside corner. The Steelers ran single high safety coverage 68% of the time last season, but now, with Minkah Fitzpatrick gone, there's speculation that Ramsey could shift into more of a safety role, or at least rotate between CB and Fs in 2 high looks. Deshaun Elliott remains a solid veteran, and Juan Thornhill is expected to play a bigger role, but neither can truly replicate the elite ball-hawking presence that Minkah brought. That's why moving Ramsey around or converting him into a hybrid safety might be on the table. And speaking of that, this leads us to what could be the Steelers' next move, signing veteran free agent Justin Simmons. This is where things heat up. With Fitzpatrick gone, Pittsburgh has a massive hole in its deep coverage unit. Simmons, a 2-time Pro Bowler and one of the league's top ballhawks, is sitting on the open market. He had a strong 2024 with Atlanta 2 interceptions, 7 pass breakups, and 36 solo tackles. Pairing Simmons with Ramsey in the backfield would make Pittsburgh's defense arguably the most complete it's been in years. Imagine this: TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, and Alex Highsmith generating pressure up front, and behind them, a secondary lead by Ramsey, Simmons, Slay, and Porter Jr. That's how you force turnovers. That's how you dominate playoff football. And at 31, Simmons can be signed to a reasonable 1-year deal. It's a win-now move that would make all the sense in the world now. Let's not overlook the fact that Ramsey has had some epic clashes with his new teammate, DK Metcalf. These two battled hard in the NFC West and even had grabbing matches in the 2024 season, but now they'll bury the hatchet as teammates. Training camp is going to be electric, and you can bet those practice battles will be intense. But here's the silver lining: iron sharpens iron. Metcalf will elevate Ramsey, and vice versa. That kind of competition builds champions. Let's not forget the quarterback under center. Aaron Rodgers isn't just here for a victory lap, he's here to lead. Wide receivers coach Zach Atsani said it best: "I love that challenge." Rodgers is demanding he holds everyone accountable. And now, with Ramsey added to the defense, you have a high-Q vet on both sides of the ball raising the standard. Rodgers has always been critical of poor route running and missed assignments, and Ramsey brings that same standard on defense. If you're not in position, if you're not locked in, expect to hear about it. That's exactly what this team needs. No more excuses, no more distractions. Pittsburgh has now exited the playoffs in the wildcard round for 4 straight appearances. That's not acceptable for a franchise with 6 Lombardis. Mike Tomlin knows that. Omar Khan knows that. The players know that. Bringing in Ramsey sends one message. This team isn't content with making the playoffs. They're going for it all. Ramsey could be the guy who finally helps this defense take that next step. He helps mentor Porter, takes pressure off Slay, and provides versatility that gives defensive coordinator Terrell Austin more options than ever before. And here's a bold prediction for you. Ramsey helps unseat the Chiefs in the AFC divisional round. With a game-sealing interception off Patrick Mahomes, you heard it here first, but in a heartbreaker, the Steelers fall to the Ravens in the AFC Championship game, a defensive war. A classic AFC North showdown. But the emergence of Baltimore's 5 DB crew gives Lamar Jackson just enough edge to escape. Still, a step forward for the Steelers. And with Ramsey on a team-friendly deal, this could be just the beginning. Let me start by saying this. No, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not actively shopping TJ Watt. But according to multiple reports, including one from ESPN and other teams, around the NFL are beginning to believe that maybe, just maybe, the Steelers would be willing to listen to offers. Why now? Why Watt? Well, it all comes back to the blockbuster trade that sent Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Dolphins in exchange for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, a move that saved Pittsburgh millions in salary cap space, $19.6 million. To be exact, by shedding Fitzpatrick's salary, that cap relief could make it logistically possible for the Steelers to deal with another big contract situation. And you guessed, if that situation is TJ Watt. Watt is entering the final year of his 4-year, $112 million extension, which averages just $28 million per year. That might sound like a lot, but it's actually a bargain now that Browns pass. Rusher Myles Garrett reset the market with a $40 million per year deal in 2025. Watt is 30, still playing at an elite level, and yet is arguably underpaid by today's standards. And here's the kicker: he skipped mandatory minicamp this offseason. While he hasn't publicly demanded a new contract, the silence is starting to get louder. Let's be clear, TJ Watt is still one of the most disruptive defenders in the NFL. He has 108 career sacks, 6 double-digit sack seasons, and a league 33 forced fumbles since entering the league in 2017. That's more than any other player in the NFL. During that span, including Khalil Mack, and yes, even Myles Garrett. So, if you're another NFL GM, and you just saw the Steelers make an aggressive move for Ramsey while dumping Fitzpatrick's contract, wouldn't you call Pittsburgh GM Omar Khan just to check on Watt's availability, especially when the pass rusher is on an expiring deal and may want to renegotiate? This doesn't mean Pittsburgh is planning to move him, but it does mean that the interest is very, very real. Steelers' defensive shakeup continues. Not forgets this whole conversation comes on the heels of a defensive overhaul in Pittsburgh. Minkah Fitzpatrick, gone. Dante Jackson, gone. Darius Slay, and Jalen Ramsey. And now Watt, possibly the next domino. Look, the Steelers have had the highest paid defense in the league for several years now, and it simply wasn't producing the results. To justify that investment, the defense collapsed at the worst possible time in 2024. December and January, exactly when playoff pushes are decided. They were picked apart by top-tier offenses. Opponents found soft spots in zone coverage. Communication was breaking down, and after the season, players themselves began hinting at someone not doing their job. No one mentioned names, but speculation was rampant. And when the trade went down, many believed the scapegoat had been identified. Minkah Fitzpatrick. Was Fitzpatrick really the problem? Fitzpatrick is undeniably talented. But according to team insiders like Ray Fittipaldo, there's real belief that Minkah may have been freelancing a little too much. It's the kind of thing that worked for Troy Polamalu. Troy had Ryan Clark as a safety net, a guy who covered for him when he made those instinctive plays. That safety net doesn't exist in today's Steelers defense. So if Fitzpatrick was trying to be everywhere at once, it may have done more harm than good. Now, I'll be fair, Fitzpatrick wasn't alone in the defensive collapse. Guys like Cam Sutton, who came back late in the year after his suspension, could have contributed to the breakdown. And some of the younger players may have been in over their heads. But it's telling that the coaching staff was willing to move on from one of their biggest stars and leaders. Watt's role moving forward? He's the face of the franchise, a four-time All-Pro, a Defensive Player of the Year, and still, arguably, the best player on the Steelers roster. But here's the reality. The Steelers can't keep pouring money into a defense that doesn't deliver. And with Ramsey and Darius Slay now in the secondary and the continued growth of Joey Porter Jr., Pittsburgh might feel confident that their new-look defense can survive without Watt. If the return package is massive, a team like the Los Angeles Rams or the Jacksonville Jaguars desperate for pass rush and willing to pay might offer multiple first-round picks or a combination of talent and future assets. That's the kind of offer Omar Khan would have to consider. Let me be crystal clear. This would not be a rebuild. This would be a reset, a reallocation of resources, especially now that Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. The clock is ticking. Pittsburgh is in win-now mode. Every decision from here on out is about maximizing this current window. Could the Steelers actually pull the trigger? The idea of trading Watt is painful to even imagine for most fans. But let's be honest, how many of us expected George Pickens to be traded in his prime? Or Fitzpatrick to be swapped out for Ramsey? Nothing is off the table in 2025. If the Steelers are convinced that Watt is going to demand top-of-the-market money next offseason, and if they believe they can fill the void through the draft, or with younger pass rushers already on the roster, then yeah, it's at least worth a conversation. And that's exactly what other GMEs around the league are hoping. All right, Steelers Nation, we want to hear from you. Was this trade a smart move? Should the Steelers go Elin and bring in Justin Simmons to fill the Minka void? And how do you feel about Ramsey possibly moving to safety down the line? Let us know in the comments. We read everything and love hearing your takes. And if you want more updates like this, ML Bold predictions, insider news, and real talk about our Steelers, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe. We've got a huge season ahead, and we're bringing you along for every snap. Thanks for watching. And as always, here we go, Steelers.